Welcome back to another episode of Fridays Live,
the show where we bring in two Canadian artists each week for a Q&A and live performance. I'm Samantha Louie. I'm here with Toronto-based rapper and producer Xolisa. She's performed at festivals like Manifesto and UNITY, and she's also just recently released her EP, A Beautiful Mind. So welcome to the studio.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So how did you get started in music?
Well, it's funny. Music is I'm very visual, so it's always been like the end goal, I guess you can say, or the common denominator. But I went through a lot of different phases before I decided what I wanted to do, which is rapping and producing. So I went through phases of singing, dancing, like choreography, everything. But it was always surrounded by me because my dad's a musician. He plays the steel drums, so it was always in my household, always surrounded. Although it was a different style of music, I didn't end up in that genre of calypso and soca music from Trinidad, but it's still music at the end of the day, so yeah.
Now, you reference Malcolm X in some of your songs. Mm-hmm. Who else do you look towards for inspiration?
Well, A Beautiful Mind, that was the song that Malcolm X was sampled in his speech, Who Taught You? That's the first time I've actually ever done that as far as sampling someone else's voice in that way, especially like a figure like Malcolm X. In a lot of times in sampling, when it comes to vocals, you'll sample like a singer or whatever. But yeah, that was cool. It just happened again organically because I knew there was a statement that I wanted to give with that song. As far as inspiration, it always changes. And to be honest, my inspiration for music isn't necessarily people. It's usually situations, so stories, or if I read a book and there's a line that stands out to me, that's where a lot of the songs are built off of, or my own experiences that I'm going through.
What kind of themes do you like to tackle with your music?
As of late, it's been, with the music that I have written, that I've shared, it's been very self-reflective. I'm a very self-reflective person, so it's just like you're in my head. You're hearing about me as I go through my own layers and I understand myself and understand my mind and understand my heart and everything, and my spirit, my soul. That's what the music is. It's very self-reflective because that's just how I am naturally. But, as I grow, I definitely want to touch on different things as, naturally. Again, I bring it back to A Beautiful Mind because that's a song where it is very self-reflective, but it's also, it kind of has like a slight political tone to it because you're now talking about like race. You're talking about, hence why I wanted to use someone like Malcolm X, just to really drive in that point of loving yourself. Yeah.
So you would say you would like to empower people through your music?
Definitely. I was speaking to a friend of mine last night, and we were talking about fame and whatnot, and I told him that, what I want out of this is to get the same feeling that I get when I hear certain songs like Michael Jackson's Lady in My Life or Heat Waves' Always and Forever, like things that move me and completely stir my insides. Like that's what I want to be able to do with other people because it's a positive thing. It could be a positive thing. I guess it could go either way. But yeah, I want to be able to move people and have people react the same way in the way that I react when I hear certain songs.
What is it like being a female in hip hop?
It's great. I've had someone ask me this question before. I haven't experienced anything to make me feel any negative situations where I've had, someone's treating me a certain way, a negative way because of my gender. If, it's very possible that I could experience that in the future. And if I do, I'm going to have to work through it. Just like many other female MCs. I don't like using the term female MC, but I mean MCs that are female that have gone through it and they've had to work through it. Some do, some don't. But when that time comes, it comes. But right now, I don't know. If anything, there's definitely things to consider when I do all of my reaching out to people and promotion myself. So sometimes you do have to, like, for example, I've had situations of going to shows and different sound people or whoever's in charge of that day maybe overlooking the fact that I know what I'm talking about too when it comes to technical aspects of mics and chords and stuff like that. So just little things like that I laugh about, but nothing that has discouraged me because of my gender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, you also used to be a music journalist?
Yeah. That was part of my phases that I was talking about, of different things that I was experimenting with, because I knew I wanted music to be a part of my life. I didn't know how. I saw it as like this middle thing, and it's like, okay, how can I enter that world? I can do it this way, I could do it that way. Music journalism happened after watching the movie Brown Sugar, because the character, she was a music journalist, and at that time I was like, okay, I love writing, I love music, maybe I can just slap them together and be a music journalist. And I definitely put my heart into that, and I was able to write for some great publications and interview some great people. But after a certain point, what you really want to do, it eats at you, and I knew that I didn't want to be in the background or on that side. I wanted to be on the other side.
All right, well, thanks for the chat.
No problem.
You can catch Xolisa live on April 10th at 3030 Dundas West, and now she's going to play us a song.
So my name is Xolisa, and the song that I'm about to do for you today is called Borderlines, and I'm here with my homie Znair, who's going to be providing the beat.
What up, it's Znair. I'm representing Unity and Flip Nation. Here we go.
All right. You can catch me on the listen. I was born into a middle class on the borderline of poor and fluctuated circumstances I couldn't see. I was born into a middle class bouncing back and forth on the borderline of poor, fluctuated circumstances. See, I was born into a middle class on the borderline of poor, fluctuated circumstances I couldn't see. I was born into a middle class bouncing back and forth on the borderline of poor and fluctuated circumstances. You see, I was born into a middle class on the borderline of poor and fluctuated circumstances. On a first glance, I see my mama's eyes as she looks away from mine to face the world, ready to pound the city's pavement and persistence of the city's wishful mission. As her grip it stiffens, standing on this curb, I feel the difference. Standing on this curb, I feel the difference. Standing on this curb, my hand in hers, I feel the grip of no resistance to whatever may come in the way. Cause we were not here to stay. We kept it moving like the fluid of my flow. The city's concrete, I know, just like my own soul knows its own purpose. We on patrol for a path that's far from perfect, and rain falls as we make our way through, pushing past status quos to wherever was a vision. We kept it moving. I try to listen, standing on this curb, I could feel the difference. Cause I was born into a middle class on the borderline. Yeah, I was born into a middle class on the borderline. Yeah, cause I was born into a middle class on the borderline of poor, fluctuated circumstances I couldn't see. I was born into, the borderline. And fluctuated circumstances don't hold up. My pops, he kept it still, a slave to creative visions with consequences that I feel I want and I live, and that I reap instead of lining of these melodies which haunt his being, begging out these notes that hold his mind hostage. I sat and watched past the clock and as the dawn would bring us to a new day, a new page filled with colors we couldn't afford but painted anyway, scraping skylinings with mile-high dreams stacked on streets built on rooftop seats. Broken seams allow us mind and soul, and when it steeps, it stains when the rains intends to pour. So I prepare for the coming of the storm as I look on into my window. His window is where the colors turn info into a new meaning scheming. I've sat and watched them conquer demons dreaming while sipping on glass of sweetest trees and past the diligent diabetic with the reason I've been thinking that it's time that I let my resentment go. Resentment go. Let it go. Let my resentment go. Yeah, cause I'm standing on the borderline. I'm standing on this borderline, and you can catch me on the borderline. Yeah, I'm standing on this borderline, and yeah, we standing on this borderline. We standing on this borderline. Yeah, we standing on this, the borderline. Yeah, poor and fluctuating circumstances. You see, Znair and Colo sitting on the borderlines of the show. As we sitting in Ryerson, sitting in the studio, doing our thing. It's 12:19, I see it in front of me, and the clock is staring in my face, and I'm about to say that I am running out of breath, but not today as I do my thing. I'm done. Yeah.